Lahko noč, hvala.
Nova tema. Nemčija je iz električnega omrežja izključila zadnje 3 delujoče jedrske elektrarne. Ostaja pa vprašanje, ali bo električna energija za Nemčijo in za Evropo dovolj. Obnovljivi viri, kot sta veter in sonce, so namreč še vedno nepredvidljivi. Srednja Evropa, tudi Slovenija, ne proizvede dovolj elektrike za svoje potrebe. Naša država je lani več kot 30% električne energije uvozila in tako bo, kot kaže, tudi letos. Negotovost je težava zlasti za energetsko intenzivno industrijo.
Nemčija se je z zaprtjem nukleark odločila za samostojno energetsko pot. Pa je to z vidika preskrbe in cene sploh pametna odločitev?
Jaz sigurno tako odločitev ne bi sprejel. Počakal bi na razplet dogodkov v Ukrajini, če je številka 1, in predvsem bi čakal na, zrelo tehnologijo za hrambo viške električne energije in pa, za pretvorbo naprej v zeleni vodik preko elektroliznih sistemov.
Nemčija, Slovenija in naše sosede so vse neto uvoznice energije. V prvih 3 mesecih je naša država elektriko uvažala skoraj vsako uro dneva. To pomeni veliko izpostavljenost borznim cenam. Te so v zadnjih mesecih sicer padle, vendar slovensko gospodarstvo plačuje elektriko po cenah iz minulega leta. Talum pa je že ugasnil elektrolizo, primarno proizvodnjo aluminija.
Slovenija, nažalost, dolgoročno ne bo, primerna država za, elektroenergetsko potratno industrijo. Ne bo, nažalost.
Talum pa ni več največji porabnik elektrike. Med prvih 5 se uvrščata 2 trgovski podjetji. Velika podjetja pa od vlade pričakujejo ukrepe za nižje cene.
Mi želimo izključno konkurenčne pogoje poslovanja. Navezajoč seveda na ali sosednje države, s katerimi se primerjamo, ali pa na naše trgovinske partnerice.
Po statističnih podatkih plačujejo slovenska podjetja v primerjavi z nemškimi nižjo ceno energentov, pravi direktor Elesa, ki tudi ocenjuje, da v prihodnosti ne bo preživela industrija, ki v stroških ne bo zmogla plačevati elektrike po ceni 180 € za megavatno uro.
In v studiu pozdravljam nemško državno ministrico za Evropo in podnebje, doktorico Ano Lerman, ki je bila danes na obisku v Sloveniji in ostaja tudi še jutri. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Germany has shut down the nuclear power plants. This decision has divided public opinion in Germany. The German industry, especially in the south, is strongly against it. The question is so very simple. Do you have reliable data showing that Germany will have enough energy for all its needs?
Yes, we do. In fact, the remaining 3 nuclear power plants that were just shut down only contributed 5% to Germany's energy supply, and already now the vast majority of our energy supply comes from renewables. And we are currently doing a lot as German government to build up renewables even more, wind, solar, because they have a clear advantage. They are not as risky as nuclear power is. Remember, the decision to shut down German nuclear power plants was taken after this dramatic nuclear accident in Japan, in Fukushima, and there was a broad consensus in German society to take the decision after that to go for less risky technologies, that is renewable energies, the sun and the wind. And that's what we're doing now. We also are just starting the process now to find actually a place where we are storing the nuclear waste, which will need to be stored for decades to come, for millions of years. Unfortunately, not only decades, but millions of years. And therefore, we have decided that it's safer for us as a German economy to build on renewables, and it's also feasible. By now, these solar panels, they are much more efficient than they were like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So we think this is efficient.
Are you going to build large solar power plants? Opinions are also divided among the public about that, as well as solar power plants can change the landscape, especially in the south.
Well, a nuclear power plant, and particularly a place where to store the nuclear waste, also changes the landscape quite dramatically, particularly if something happens, a terrorist attack, for instance. We're all watching we're really holding our breath when it now comes to the fighting around the nuclear power plants in Ukraine, right? Because this would have dramatic consequences for the whole of Europe if something would happen there. So therefore, we think it's safer to build up solar, for instance. And the plan is actually, and that's also what we're doing, to have it very decentralized, so that everyone puts it on their own roof. And for instance, in my constituency in Hessen, there was just recently a referendum in a small village, and they decided to build windmills because also the city or the village will get a lot of revenue from this production of energy. So we're planning to decentralize, and we're actually doing it, the energy supply. And that also means that people and local communities will profit from the gains of it.
Will green power plants be enough to supply German industry? That is the main question.
Yes. There are
data about that?
Yes, as I said already now, it's 50% of the German energy supply comes from renewables. And then these technologies become more efficient and more efficient as we speak. There's technological innovation. And then, of course, also we need to save energy and to reduce the use of energy, for instance, by insulating houses better. That will also lower the prices of the energy bills that people have to pay every month because they need to use less energy.
Another topics, Ukraine is trying to join the EU. The countries of the Western Balkans have been waiting for this for several years. When could the EU get a new member state, and which one could it be?
Germany is a very strong supporter of the enlargement of the EU. We really believe that the reform pace in the candidate countries should determine about the pace in which they then actually become a member of the EU as well. And therefore we're supporting them in their reforms, and in order to become a member of the EU, as Slovenia has done, you need to fulfill certain criteria, right? Like the rule of law, there need to be independent judges, independent media, there needs to be a fair competition. And so it depends on those countries, on Ukraine and Moldova and the countries of the Western Balkans, when they are ready to fulfill these criteria, and we are helping them on the way there.
So we cannot set a date yet. Yes.
It depends on their pace, really.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay in Slovenia.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
No, slovenska predsednica Nataša Pirc